Welcome to Activate Yourself with Geeta, Sidhu, Robb, where we feature otherwise normal people who, because of events in their life, have turned left and done unusual, inspiring, incredible things. Like build a business, become a happiness expert, marry a prince, create an empire, or like your host, set up a health and wellness business, Nosh Detox. Here's your host, Geeta, Sidhu, Robb.
Hi, my name's Geeta, Sidhu, Robb, and this is Activate Yourself. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Today, we're going to talk about something that I've heard a lot about and I know nothing about. Do you have stuff like that where you know a lot about something? No, you've heard about it and you're like, well, yeah, I feel like I should know something about it. And it sort of keeps coming across your awareness, but you know what the hell it is. Today is the day for you to learn something I've always wanted to know, because, you know, that's what life's like and it's my show. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find more out about something called human design. And human design is one of those things that lets you get to know yourself really deeply. And I think anything that gets you to know yourself really deeply has got to be a good thing, right? Because I swear that all the ways you screw up, one screws up, is because we don't understand ourselves. And so we don't know the decisions we're going to make, and we don't know why we're doing things, and we just keep doing things. And when you know something about yourself, you decide 100% you're never going to do that thing. So it's definitely what I do when I'm coaching. So I'm really looking forward to it. So we've got Charlie Garnham here today, and the wonderful Charlie, who's already shown a sense of humor before we came on, so we know we're going to have fun, is going to tell us all about human design. Charlie, tell me what it is that you do.
Oh, thank you so much, Geeta. Thank you for having me. I'm a business and marketing coach, which, you know, is quite a common occurrence actually in this day and age. But what I actually do is I help women to become really, really aligned with their true selves, to really help them to consciously understand like every single little thing that they're doing, so that they're not going through life on autopilot. And I really help them to understand their true identity through the use of human design. So I'm just so excited to be here to chat to you about human design today.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy to have you here. Tell me this, how did you find out that it's because women didn't know themselves that this was an issue? Like, what made you think, oh, I wish you knew yourself better, because then I could help you, from marketing to business to human design?
Well, actually, that's just through my own story, actually, because I always thought that I knew myself really, really well. And it turns out that actually there was some really, really fundamental things that were very, very different to what I thought.
Like
and
what?
I think,
give us an example.
So one of the main things that I found out about myself is that I do not have generative life force energy. But what I do is I amplify the generative life force energy of other people.
Okay, so wait, you don't have generative life. I thought the definition of being human is that we had generative life force energy.
That is correct. But in human design, some of us have inconsistent access to generative life force energy, and some of us have consistent access.
It's a little bit like when my elder daughter goes out and spends time all day with a bunch of people and comes home feeling utterly pumped up, and I want to go shoot myself in the head.
Yes, that's right. She might well be amplifying other people's energies.
Got it. Okay, so let's just start then with human design. Explain human design to me.
Excellent. So human design is like a personality test, but it's for your soul. So I'm sure you probably heard of Myers-Briggs, and you've done the colours personality test and things like that. So those tests are based on, you actually filling out a questionnaire. And in that instance, your mind might be telling you to fill out, a particular question, or say yes or no to a particular question, or because that is what your mind thinks you are, what your mind wants you to be. Now, human design is a personality test, except it's based on where and when you were born. So your mind can't overtake your answers. Your mind can't, sort of make up answers for you in this personality test. And I know know that there might be some critics out there thinking, well, time and place of birth, like how does that determine your personality? The crazy thing about it is that human design is incredibly accurate, even if you just ignore the fact that, it is by time and birth.
Oh my God, I love this. So place of birth, meaning which part of the world you come from, or the exact town, or what?
The exact town would be preferable, yes.
Okay, so once you know that the exact town and the time and place of birth type thing.
Yeah.
Although my mother honestly knows it was the morning and nothing more, so that's really unhelpful. You kind of plug and play. You put that into like a software, and it comes out with information.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
you should have done me before we came on. How long does it take to get? No, well, it'd be really interesting, wouldn't it? How long does it take to get information?
So honestly, once you know your information, you can go to one of these, pieces of software online. The one that I use is mybodygraph.com. I'm not affiliated with them at all. It's just the one that is most commonly used. And My Body Graph will give you an overview of who you are in human design. The only thing with it, of course, is that I don't know if anybody has, or if you yourself, Geeta, has done your astrology chart. When you put your birth details into astrology, you come up with this chart. You really don't know what it is at all. Yeah, you have no idea what it is, do you? It's kind of the same with human design. You look at it and you think, well, what does that mean?
Okay, so I'm busy filling out my body graph as we talk. I'm just telling you now. So you fill it all out and it gives you a bunch of information. And what's your job then? Why would someone need you when they have that information?
So the concept of human design is actually built around deconditioning away from the parental world that you were brought up in, society, government, media, etc. And it helps you to understand your true self. Now, this concept takes you, it can take people up to 7 years to decondition back into their true selves. And human design is kind of like a layer upon layer upon layer of information. So when you first discover it, you always look into what your type is. So we have 5 types in human design. And then after that, we just go down the layers of everything that there is in human design. Now, it takes a long time to learn this process. I've been learning it for 2.5 years. My teacher is with the International Human Design School. And I still don't even know everything there is to know about human design. So if you take one look at your chart and you kind of think, well, I don't know what that's all about, you just need someone to help you, sort of interpret it for you and also put it into practical everyday language.
So talk to me about how this becomes something that you have linked towards your marketing and business background.
So I think really,
how do you use this basically?
How do I use it? Yeah. So the way that I use it with my clients and also with myself is there are certain parts of your chart that will allow you to understand things like what is your best environment to work in, how you could be working with other people and how to interact with them, how many hours a day even sometimes you could be working. And all of this is always an experiment. So, I might say to you, Geeta, go and work in a coffee shop and see how you feel, because that might be your preferred environment, but it might not work for you. It might do. It's all an experiment to, see how we can get you feeling really good and also showing up online in your business as your true self and being very authentic as well.
Okay, so what is it that, give me an example of how this is, give me like a case study, because that makes more sense, right? We kind of ground it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of my clients is somebody who does have generative life force energy. And, because of that, you kind of think to yourself, well, if I have life force energy and, I have my own online business, then I can create content all the time, right? I can, go and, write all the content, create it, do videos, and you're just here, there and everywhere. Now, she was a little bit stuck with this. She didn't understand why she was generating life force energy, but she really, really struggled. She really pulled back with her content. She didn't really know how to go ahead and be inspired with content. Now, further down the layers of her human design chart, we actually discovered that she had an inconsistent access to inspiration. And when we have an inconsistent access to inspiration, sometimes we have to put ourselves in situations or environments where we do then, get inspired. So whether that's listening to podcasts or reading books, or, even just talking to a friend in a coffee shop or a client, that can really get the inspiration flowing. And the result of this is that essentially she wasn't able to have a consistent output with her content, but that is okay, because the way that she's designed is that she's only designed to create content when she is inspired to do so. And that helps you to be a lot less overwhelmed, because you know what it's like. You wake up in the morning, you think, right, I've got to post something today. What do I post about? And then you end up forcing it because you're not quite sure what to post about and you don't have that inspiration. And when you're forcing, people can feel that and they can see right through it. And then, obviously when you show up and you're not forcing, then, you become more magnetic that way.
We're going to go for a short break. And then when we come back, tell me how you helped her to understand and then make that into her everyday life. Because that's what it sounds like you did. You got her to feel comfortable in a behavior that suited her abilities, right?
Yes,
okay,
that's
so
right.
We're going to go for a short break.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Okay, so we're back from our break. What is it that you do? Like, you've got this information. You're like, we've done your human design chart. We've got to the place where we understand that there are days where you feel really buzzy and inspired, and days where you just don't, right? So so did you kind of gave her permission to know that, so that she just didn't have to post all the time?
Yes.
Or that she should go and get inspired?
Well, I mean, both really, whichever works for her. And I think, a lot of business and marketing coaches out there, they will say to you, you need to be consistent on social media. It's the way that the algorithm works. And, it's the way that everybody says, you must be consistent. So to kind of break that down and to remove yourself away from that societal conditioning that the algorithm has created, it just gave her permission to only, instead of saying, right, I'm going to write an email every Monday morning. Okay, well, what happens if she wakes up every Monday morning and she doesn't feel inspired? But what happens if Tuesday she does feel inspired? And it's just giving you permission to be who you want to be in business. And that will then give you the magnetism to attract your clients.
I agree with that. I think also that when you have the permission to be yourself, it gives you a bigger sense of power. You step into your power a lot more because you're in alignment with the things you want to do, so that the things you want to do not only speak to you more, but are more authentic. Yes. Right? Is that what we're saying? Yeah. Okay. So I agree with that. And I think that women definitely need permission to not always be on, because we're really bad at that. Right?
Yeah.
So you started off as a business marketing coach?
Yes, that's right.
How did you find human design? What was it that I've just had my chart turn up, and this is terrifying. I feel like I should share this with you, and you can tell me something about this in the next one.
Absolutely.
Feel like a good thing, because I don't want to abuse your knowledge, but I think it's really interesting to have it come up and just say we could have a look at it. Okay, tell me though, why did you start doing this?
So I think for myself, I dived into human design. A friend of mine, just said to me, you've got to check out the system. It's really amazing. It's really helped me. And so I did. And I think I just kind of like learned that my type in human design, which is only 20% of the world is my type, I've really learned that a lot of the business and marketing tactics and strategies there are out there these days, which is a very do, go, consistency, you know, yes, with no rest and all that sort of stuff, that isn't actually not how I'm supposed to show up in the world. And for my type, I'm actually quite unusual in the sense that my visibility strategy is a lot different to a lot of people's. And I am here to show up, to shine my light. And then actually, I'm supposed to now just go and rest. I'm not supposed to work and go and do and create more content. So actually after this, I'm going to be heading off, maybe going for a walk, or, you know, maybe sitting down on the sofa with my cat.
That's actually quite traumatizing. I got long COVID last year, and I work in the health business. I'm a health expert. I've been for 14 years, and managed to avoid COVID in all its formatting until last January. At the end of last January, 25th, I think it was, I got COVID. And I consistently across the year got long COVID. I think I was bedridden like 5 times across the course of the year. And it was very interesting because I have this massive spiritual practice in my life. And I was like, what the actual hell are we doing here? Why are we doing this? And it turned out that it happened to force me to slow down, because 10-hour days were really normal for me. And I'm a single parent. I have 3 kids. And so it wasn't even 10 hours. It was probably 15, 16, 18-hour days, you know, without really thinking about it very much, and push. And people would go, oh, you're really stressed. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, so, Anne, you know, and it took me till September of being battered, literally by the universe going, you will slow down. You will stop doing shit like that. You will do it this way, or else you will end up back in bed. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. I'm slightly stubborn. And it took me till September, from frigging end of January, to work this out. And I was like, okay, hands up, not surrender, not doing this. Yep. Still took me another 2-3 months to get my head around it. But that's what I do now. Like, I wake up later because I work till 7:38 at night. So I make sure I wake up later. I make sure, and I found, I mean, was it enough for someone to just tell you need to take it more easily, or did it take a while for that to sink in?
Yeah, always takes a while. Absolutely.
You made it sound effortless, and I'm like, bloody hell, I fought with that.
Well, yes, I'm 2.5 years into my experiment now. So okay, I've been
confess.
The confession, absolutely. Like, I was quite happy to still go when I heard that information. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep pushing and keep forcing. I was working a day job at the time as well. So I was doing full-time day job, and then also business and marketing coaching on the side. And it's not how I'm supposed to live and work at all. So, I mean, it probably took me a year, if not more, to actually realize and understand. And you know what, like, you know, this conversation is fantastic, Geeta, because even if you are, and you know, anybody listening out there, even if you are a generative energy person, if you have that life force energy person, it doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't be having that self-care that your body needs. You're still in a physical body. You still need rest. You still need relaxation.
Okay, so I want to stop you a second, because the thing is, I understood that. Yeah. Of course I understand. I'm a coach. I tell people to do this. I get that you need self-care, but we sell self-care, Charlie, as frigging massage or some shit like that. We do not sell self-care as stopping. We sell it as slowing down. I thought it was perfectly slow to go from 10 hours to 8. I thought that was slow. There were 2 hours cut off that, for heaven's sake. What do you want from me? Right? But stop. I was like, there has to be a gun to my head to do this shit. Turns out there was a gun to my head, and that's another, but not a gun, but the universe. So that's very frightening. How do you learn that?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to get your head around, but I think, like, the more that you immerse yourself in your experiment of human design.
Well, one, I like that you call it an experiment, because then you're not failing.
Yes, exactly. And, like human design is subjective. Like, it can mean one thing to someone and it can be, mean something different to someone else. So, to me, human design means to really, really sort of like relax and take care of myself. And sometimes relaxing to me does mean sitting on the sofa, getting horizontal, which is like a little bit of a buzzword in human design, getting horizontal and plugging yourself back in. But sometimes relaxation means learning, educating myself, going for a walk, going to the gym. I'm a weightlifter as well. So lifting weights.
Oh, it's a really interesting, I always think you have the conversations you need to have, and I always think that the universe brings you that. So I find it really interesting that this is the conversation we're having, because I didn't expect that at all. Not that I knew anything, but I still didn't expect it, because for me, I have to say that, the thing is, I coach senior professional, highly intelligent women. And we're just the fucking devil, excuse my language. We're the devil. We literally are the devil, because we're stubborn, we're bloody minded, we think we know best, we use our intellect to great effect, and we pay a price of who we are as humans, because we're using our intellect more than we use anything else. And our bodies almost struggle to keep up, I find, with the intellect. So the conversation we're having with you, I find interesting, because you're talking about stopping. And I don't think we ever have those conversations. And you found that out because of human design.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to go for a break. And when we come back, we're going to look at this charty thing.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. The station that makes you feel good.
Okay, so we're back, and the wonderful Charlie has had a look at my really, truly terrifying looking chart, and she's going to tell me 3 things about myself that she learned from the chart. Go.
Excellent. So you are one of the amazing people that do have life force generative energy. And that means that people like me can really take in your energy and amplify it. And you are designed to build the world. So this is you standing in your true self, building the world. And I just want to say to those of you who are listening who also might be, generative and have life force energy, sometimes a lot of women will come to me and they'll say, Charlie, I'm a generator, which is the type in human design, but I don't feel like I have consistent energy. I don't feel like I have life force energy. And that is actually just a signpost for you to understand that you're probably not doing what you love, because only when you do what you love and when you do something that lights you up, that's when you are there, you're magnetic, and you really are sharing that amazing energy. So that's just a little note out there for you, for those of you who are generators. So the next thing that I want to talk about to you as well is the way that you are designed to make decisions, which is actually the second thing that we come to in human design when we talk about it. Now, for you, Geeta, you have a very, what we call sacral and very gut response. So let's say, for example, I asked you a question, do you want to eat pizza tonight? You will have a gut response of either yes or no, and you will feel it. Instinctive, yeah, it's in the moment, it's instinctive, and you will really, really feel that in your body, and you'll probably feel like quite a hard no as well in your body if you don't want something. Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is one of the main authorities that people have, but one of the other authorities that we have as well is, our world is fast paced. It moves really fast. And actually 50% of us do not have the ability to make a decision in the moment, especially when it comes to really big decisions like, whether we should get married, like where we should live, etc. And this is because these people have emotional intelligence. And when you have emotional intelligence, you are supposed to ride that wave of emotions that you have. So, you and I, Geeta, we don't actually have these emotional waves, but some people have emotional waves.
Right.
And
the
when
more
they
empathic you are, the more you will have that, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to clarity about whether you should move or whether you should, get married or whatever it is, that is when you're not feeling very emotional. You're actually in like a bit of a neutral state. And of course, that takes time to come to. So you and I, we might be able to say, if we went for a job interview or something like that, we might be able to say in the moment, like whether we want that job or not, if we get offered it. Other people, they need a couple of days or a week or so to go. And I feel like this information is really, really important for people to understand, because when you are emotionally intelligent, it just means that you take your time to come to a decision, and that decision is probably going to be much better for you than making it in the moment.
And also the thing with being empathic is that one of the things I'm always trying to say to people is you're always picking up other people's emotions. So be aware of that. And they can feel like they're yours, but they're not.
Yes.
And until you can learn to identify the wave and the rhythm and the sense and the feeling of your emotion versus someone else's, you can be pushed into making decisions and sensations and feelings that are not yours.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very well.
Okay, so was that was the second? Was that
was the second one?
What was the third?
So the third one is actually, so you've got something on your chart called the profile, and your profile is the opportunist role model.
Yeah.
Okay. So the opportunist I will talk about first. So this is where you will receive invitations and things to respond to. So whether that's clients, etc., through your network. So building your network is going to be the most important part of growing your business, which obviously I can see that that's exactly, what you do.
That's hysterical, because I hate so much networking. It's when I'm actually honestly a raving introvert at heart, but my kids are always laughing because of course when you come to having older children and they want work or helping someone or doing whatever, which I firmly believe in and I'm committed to, but I have actually a massive network, and it makes me laugh every single time because it's never been by design.
Yeah, it's just people will talk about you. People will refer you. Oh, they'll say, oh, I've heard about this woman, Geeta. She does this, and this, and then that other person will go and talk about you.
It happens all the time. Oh my God, that's so funny. So my brother talks about it because he says in the Chinese chart, I'm a goat, and that goats are always helped by people, and I am so frigging lucky. People come and rock up and they're like, how about and I don't even sit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just lucky. I go with that thought. And that's so interesting.
Yeah, very much so, but not everybody has that. So
well, we're all different, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all different, and it's always good to know what we have and what we haven't. And then the last part of your profile is that you are a role model, and generally role models will really start to come out after sort of 48, 49, 50 years old. But before that, you are experimenting, you're looking at other people to find out what they're doing, you're making all the mistakes that you can do in your life, and then the role model really starts to come out and really, it is what it is. It's role model. So
that is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So normally, there's nothing incorrect there, to be fair.
Okay.
I would 100% agree with all that. So if I came to you for coaching, I would say, I want to, I don't know, set up my own, because you spend time helping women to leave corporate and set up their own businesses, right? That suit them. And so you'd be like, let's work out your human design kind of graph thing. We'll work out the kind of ways in which you work and operate, and then I'll help you to get there. So do you help them to come up with the idea of what they should do or how to do it better?
So if they don't know what they should do, then human design absolutely can help with that. Even from the decision making, and also just, you'll see in your chart, you've got some numbers that go down the left-hand side and the right-hand side in red and black. Some of those numbers can be, really indicative of, where or what you want to be doing in your life. And it's never me saying you should do this, it's always you using your own authority to come back to your true self and to really help you to understand your strengths and, you know, what you're supposed to do in your life. If you already know what you want to be doing, then yes, it's all about setting up that business. You know, it's all about the startup business plan and strategy and everything like that. I am actually a very strategic person. That's another thing that you can see in your human design chart. So I'm very strategic, and I have 15 years experience in marketing as well. So it just means that I can help you build your business from the ground up, essentially using your own unique energy.
I love that. So you're like, come work with me. I'll help you work out which direction to go in that will suit you the best. And then I'll help you be the person that does that in the way that suits you the most.
Yes. You've got it. Absolutely. And I do feel that, like, you know, years and years of corporate can really, really condition women into thinking that they, you know, should be working 8 hours a day, for example, or should be working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, for example. And it's just coming away from that corporate condition as a woman and being your true self.
Well, I think for women, you know, I spend a lot of time talking about this because I think that women are conditioned to be pleasing. I think women are conditioned to be supportive. I think women are conditioned to be supportive. And did I say that? We're conditioned to do all that shit. And I think it's a massive form of gaslighting, and it annoys me shitless. You know, I'm always surprised when I can sit in front of someone who's clearly trying to manipulate me, and honestly, you wonder, you know how it is when people try and manipulate you, like, do I look stupid? And you're like, just sit here while I eviscerate you because you're annoying me so much, you know. And there's a part of you that we're not brought up to do that. You know, we're just brought up to be nice. So I like that. I'm a big believer on I help women to step into where their most powerful self is. How to be powerful, enjoy your power, step into your power and use that power, because we think of power as being a masculine model, and it just isn't, because power in terms of the feminine is what is how we're creators, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I absolutely love that. It's been a really interesting conversation. Thank you very much.
I just absolutely love chatting with you, Geeta.
Thank you for coming on. How do people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. So I am the Charlie Garnham. And also my website is charliegarnham.com. And on my website, you can find out details of how you can have a reading with me, which essentially is like 90 minutes of what we've just done. You know, I picked out 3 of your things, but we'll do it for 90 minutes on Zoom, just the 2 of us. And I'll just go over every aspect of your chart so that you can understand who you are, and give you practical tips to how to live your life.
I love that. Thank you, Charlie. I really appreciate having you as a guest.
Thank you so much, Geeta.
So, well, I hope that was interesting. Did you guys find that interesting? I like the fact that something around this takes away the, you know, that do I like it? Don't I like it? Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Because, you know, I feel like as women particularly, we really struggle with this crap. And as young people, we really struggle with this. And what we do is we sit in a place where we just don't know how to be who we are to the maximum. And one of the things I remember when I was younger, because I've always been a mouthy so-and-so, was always that thing of, oh, do you have to be so intense? Like it was a bad thing. Do you have to be so intelligent? Like that was a bad thing. Do you have to be so blunt? Like that was another bad thing. And you just know that as a guy, I would never have been judged for doing all of that. I was only judged for doing it as a woman. And it really took me getting to the space where I had to love and approve of myself. Now, this kind of tool would probably be a really fantastic bypass to loving and approving of yourself, because you can go, oh yeah, but that's how I'm built. And there's an acceptance behind that. So I really enjoyed understanding more about that. I hope you guys did too. And I will see you again soon. My name is Geeta Sidhu Robb. This is Activate Yourself. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Our goal was to give you pause, make you think about your life, and inspire you to say, wow, what if I tried to do that? If they can do it, so can I. Did it work? Let us know by finding us on social media at Geeta Sidhu Robb or at Nosh Detox. We upload new shows every 2 weeks here, and if you start to miss us, check us out on YouTube.